HoloAdvent's
Maybe
lore.
another generation before I get to talking about myth lore, I will combust. Oh hi, it's me, Curb. And
What up,
welcome
Curb?
back to the little series I like to call Why I Ended Up in a Mental Asylum, also known as HoloLife English Lore. In this episode we tackle the newest gen, Advent. Will we uncover more secrets of this world's canon? Will there be any correlation between the groups? If those questions excite you, the connection this group has with the ancient ones may have confirmed one of my ongoing theories. Let's jump right into it.
What's your theory? I'm ready to hear this. Bro got a whole intro. Okay, the jewel of She's a jewel of emotions. I never knew that.
Candy Bibu. Her
Rock
story,
candy.
while interesting, is the one that I consider to be the least lore heavy. It goes like this. Bijou is known as the jewel of emotions, as she was created by the crystallization of human sentiment. Over the years, the vast quantity of emotions like filth and beauty has pressured her into shining like crazy. That same shine was wanted by the greedy people who fought to own her, leading her to be imprisoned in secrecy far from human reach. One particular characteristic is that when she encounters people with good emotions, her radiance shines even brighter. That's the official lore.
That's what she does, the little car laugh. I can't do it.
She inspires greed to whoever sees her. It's quite reminiscent to the story in Norse mythology of the priceless ring of Andvaranot. That, like Bibu, it caused greed to whoever saw it as it helped find sources of gold, which inspired the One Ring of Tolkien's stories. First member, and I'm already researching Scandinavian mythology. HoloLife, am I right?
She doesn't sound that powerful, I ain't gonna lie. It sounds like Kratos could destroy Bijou with like a single flick. Could Koseki Bijou beat Kratos?
Fowa and Mokoko Apisgard, the twin demon dog sisters. They do have quite the interesting lore and parallels to mythology, just like Bibu, but with a lot more world building. To sum up,
more world building, let's go.
Their sister who takes care of both Mokoko and their mentor/pet Pero, which we'll get to later.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Mokoko is the rambunctious sibling who in their time at the cell watched anime and played video games, sometimes even roping Fowa and Pero. But you may ask, why were they imprisoned? Well, they were, and I quote, a pain in the butt. So as punishment they sent them to the cell. Quite the harsh punishment, honestly. There may be more explanation to why they were imprisoned, but honestly that's such a classic whole life lore thing and I need simplicity every now and then. And yes, let's not forget, they are demon dogs. They live in a place called the Northwest Passage located within the Makai or demon world. And while they say they are demon guard dogs, they are still in training. Their job is mostly protecting the gate to the demon world, but only a few are selected. And the Makai that was briefly mentioned is from Buddhist origins, where it's defined as a place for supernatural beings and nothing about evil beings there, which is what media portrays it as. Which means that if a Makai exists, that implies the existence of a Reikai, which is the spirit world or afterlife where ghosts and spirits reside. That answers my question of the difference between the Makai and the underworld. The Makai is for supernatural beings like demons, and the underworld, which is hell, is the Reikai of this universe, where, let's say, a death's apprentice would bring a fresh disease. And also they are inspired by Norse mythology, more specifically Gyr and Frigg, Odin's guard dogs. They even poke fun at their names as they are the greedy one and the avaricious one, with their own names being the fluffy one and the fuzzy one respectively. And also brings comparisons with Greek mythology that, with Pero, they're compared to a Cerberus, the three-headed demon dog that guards the gates of hell. Pero himself is quite important as he is Fomoka's mentor, but they claim him to be their pet.
I ain't never seen him.
Okay, so now we get to the confusing lore. Nura is by far the one that surprised me a lot with her lore. Here's why. She's known as the demon of sound, and with her deep love of song, that love turns into a dark power that when unleashed, normally by her singing, it can drive the world mad. So the ones who intervened were, you guessed it, the gods. It is said that the gods imprisoned her as they were afraid of her boys, and in her time in the cell that just appropriately had twin demonic guard dogs and sparkling gems, she came across otaku culture. Also forgot to mention that the gods broke one of her horns to limit her power and headed away somewhere. Where?
Nobody knows.
So, what's the big deal? Them. These
the gods.
Are the big deal.
Gods?
The gods are back with a vengeance, and now we know that they were active rather than just disappeared. It may seem that they appear when their creation is at risk and intervene likewise, and probably write their forbidden knowledge, which could include the location to Risa's horn. But there's one timeline error. It was revealed in a stream that Risa was locked up for 9,000 years.
Tell you how long I've
lore masters. Yep, be careful what y'all say in stream. Hey, the lore masters, they wrote that shit down. 9,000, no, so don't mess up. Risa, you better remember, in this throwaway gag line, it's written down, man. 9,000 years ago, you did some shit. Hey, there it is. You were locked up for 9,000 years.
Was locked away.
There it
in
is.
cell for 9,000 years.
Don't
Which
forget
would
it.
automatically make her part of the first 1,000 years of civilization like 7,000 BCE. Or so you would think. The first civilizations were created in 3000 BCE.
Are you gonna tie it to real world?
Explain Bibu's age. In her debut, she said her age started with a 1, and since Nerissa said that Bibu was older, we know Bibu has to be at least 10,000 years old. While her lore is straightforward and not as complicated as I made it out to be, there's also some errors in there. Or maybe Talon just said some shit and I'm just taking this way too seriously. But for now, remember the
I think you're taking it too
existence of
seriously,
the
but
horn
it's
and
fun.
everything
Why
will
not?
click when
Who
we
cares?
get to. Final member of HoloAdvent and the one who connects it all. Shiori, known as the Archiver, turns her favorite stories and memories into bookmarks that she saves somewhere. But by misfortune, she stumbled upon forbidden knowledge. Sound familiar? And for that, she was imprisoned in the cell with the rest of Advent. But as this was but another
Thank you for the
story,
follow.
she planned and executed
That was a
imprisonment.
perfect follow, too. It's like,
As you would. Before imprisonment, she was gifted a bookmark by what she calls a cherished soul. She didn't understand
What
until
up,
she
Ben?
started to see beyond it. What did she see exactly? Well, she says it as clear as day.
Knowledge out of sync with time, carefully woven archives of realities unbeknownst to humanity. The creation and destruction of worlds, visions of universes that expanded and receded back to their origin points.
And why is this important to connect Advent?
The what?
Well, we all know where forbidden knowledge is stored, right?
Yeah,
the
the
ancient
internet.
ones are back at it
Reddit,
again.
or 4chan.
Or may I say,
so the gods are
God
4chan.
time. That's right. The
The
gift
gods are
bestowed to
4chan.
Shiori by her friend could be a part of the forbidden knowledge of the gods put into Ao.
Of
I mean, if I was a
4chan.
god and I saw near human gain knowledge of the universe creation, I would also imprison her somewhere. And this may confirm my ongoing theory about the ancient ones being the written manifestation of the gods' knowledge of the creation of literally everything. Why am I confident about Shiori obtaining Ao's forbidden knowledge being the same as the gods? While this just may be a little gag, remember
Those are
Nerissa's
losers
horn,
anymore, that'd be
the
alright.
one sealed away by the gods, where the location is unknown? Yeah, Shiori knows where it is. How? Because she has
Shiori
the
knows?
answers right within a bookmark. And also, the cell
bookmark.
they're imprisoned in? What if I told you this cell was, and probably is, where monsters from the gods' age were sealed, and that due to the impact of myths, councils, and supernatural beings, their bondage was broken and promised rebellion and glory to the new land? First take, holy shit. If you don't
That'd
believe
be
me,
dope
take a
as
look at
shit,
this page
if
of a
that
book
was the
written in
case.
Anglo-Saxon runes
So-
present in the Wanted PV. I swear to
So are we on the bad guys team? Are we the bad guy? I mean, we're escaping hell, right? So does that mean we're the bad guys or no? I don't know, but I know 4chan's the gods
God,
apparently.
this is the first
so.
time in a while of
That's a
writing
dub.
theories that I had
There it is.
such gasp
The
moments.
four gods. Let's see. Hold
If I
on.
told you she has where the look.
Let's see 'em, let's see 'em. All right. 4chan, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. There it is. Those are the four
Take a look at this
gods.
page of a book written in Anglo-Saxon runes.
The
present
four
in
gods
Wanted
of
PV.
VTubing.
I swear to God, this is the first time in a while of writing theories that I had such gasp
Without these
moments.
four
You
VTubing
don't
wouldn't
understand
exist.
the impact of having this much lore means to me.
Lore Master.
The story runs us back to ancient ages where the gods were still active and monsters battled their creations. With the gods' victory, they sealed these monsters in a new land that could be called an empty prison. But due to the impact of myths, councils, and supernatural beings, what held them back before was now broken and pledged for rebellion and glory to the new land
Why
they
they
called
make Nerissa look like
the Cell.
such a
Centuries
badass,
later,
bro?
as more creatures were imprisoned, some for safety, others for their danger to the world, and two because they're a pain in the ass. What the gods fear most came true. A mere mortal gaining forbidden knowledge.
Oh, no!
To prevent it from leaking to the rest, they imprisoned her but couldn't find where she stored it. In between those times, Shiori Novella had planned a prison break with 4 other girls she met there. She'd used Fuawa and Moko Abe's guards' dog traits and made them bark at the guards as a distraction. Meanwhile, Koseki Biju's ability to fly and Nerissa Ravencroft's staff were used to immobilize
Biju
more of them.
can fly?
As they entered Shiori's confinement, they blasted even more security using Biju as a weapon. Yes, I'm not kidding. And step outside for the first time in centuries for some of them. They took a nearby car and drove as far away from the cell as possible,
Where did they get a car?
pledging their rebellion.
This video was absolutely amazing. That's an insta sub, bro. I can't wait to see more.